Hi and welcome to this episode of JING TV, Stretching the Truth, looking at stretching and does it work? Hi, welcome back to this episode of JING TV called Stretching the Truth. I'm actually going to play interviewer here to my dear Rachel, because Rachel's written an article recently called Stretching the Truth for Choice and Wellbeing magazine. And stretching itself has become quite a hot topic in the massage world. Basically, you know, does it work? So Rachel's done quite a lot of research about it, and we thought we'd share it with the wider audience. So Rachel,
that's why I'm wearing my boffing glasses.
So intelligent.
I could be learned.
So stretching the truth, what does the evidence tell us? So first, what does the evidence tell us? When you did your research, does stretching help you become more flexible? Big question.
Does it help you be more flexible? Good news here, yes it does.
Tick.
Tick. However, does stretching help us be more flexible because it helps our muscles be longer? What do you think? Yes or no?
Well, that seems quite loaded as a question. I guess I'd have to say no. But if my muscles aren't getting longer, then what's getting longer? How am I getting a greater range of motion? I don't understand.
It's all about your little brain. So it's all psychological. So actually stretching doesn't permanently lengthen either muscles or connective tissue. It does very transiently.
Okay.
But the reason that you can stretch further each time you stretch is actually more about central nervous system, that your brain getting more used to stretching further.
Wow.
I know, you don't believe it, right? But
I know, I'm looking at Rachel's article and going, so Wepler in 2010 said that. She's very good with her.
I know. You can get the article off the website. That gives you all the nerdy references.
Okay. So we'll get the article also on this episode. All right. Next question then. Should you stretch before and after your work, as it may or may not prevent injury? Fairweather.
Okay. So there's been a lot of controversy about this, or controversy, as you say in the States, how do you say, over recent decades. Because obviously, certainly as massage therapists, and if you're involved in sport, you were always taught to stretch before exercise, and that would prevent injury. So that's a sacred truth, if you like, that we all believe. And obviously, sports massage, pre-event massage, usually involves some kind of stretching. So there was a bit of a shock horror ripple that ran through the physical fitness community over the last decade with some research, so some what we call reviews, which look at all the different research that have been done and try to pull together the conclusions. So it's a little bit mixed, the evidence around this. So some of the reviews have done that great. Politicians, we can neither confirm nor deny that stretching is useful for preventing injury, whereas other reviewers have suggested that stretching might be useful in some sports but not others. So for example, one reviewer suggested that stretching was really useful for preventing injury in sports that involved a lot of bouncing or jumping. So sort of like, you know, basketball, football or rugby. It's called
trampolining.
It's called SSC, stretch shortening cycles, if you want the technical term.
She's amazing.
So stretching might be good at that, but not necessarily for things like jogging, cycling or swimming. It's not saying that stretching is bad for you, it's just saying that it might not have the effect on reducing injury that we thought. But definitely for sports involving a lot of bouncing. So kangaroos do your stretching. Other reviewers suggest that it does actually help certain injuries, so musculoskeletal injuries, which is obviously what we're interested in massage. So things like strains, sprains, tendon injuries. So again, you know, bit of mixed evidence out there, really.
And what about this thing called DOMS?
DOMS.
Stretching helps prevent and reduce muscle soreness. DOMS. What's DOMS? And does stretching help it?
So delayed onset muscle soreness. So again, there's been a lot of research. So DOMS is basically, you know, you go to the gym and work out, the next day you feel achy. So there's been a lot of, you know, work going into finding out what techniques might prevent that, and we always thought the stretching did and the massage did actually, bad news, neither of them do. So actually nothing prevents DOMS as far as the evidence shows us so far. So it doesn't matter, hot, cold, stretching, massage, none of it actually prevents you getting sore the day after. One blogger that I really like, Paul Ingraham, you should check out his blog, saveyourself.ca. He said that DOMS is like a tax on exercise. I mean, it makes you feel, I like it personally.
Because it makes you feel like you've done something.
Yeah. All right, time for one more.
Stretching before an event helps improve performance.
Okay, right. So another shock horror headline here, in that, again, we always thought that stretching before performance would actually enhance performance. So the massive, awful news flash was that maybe stretching before a performance actually not only did not help, but in some sports actually decreased performance.
But that's horror for the people who believed in it, but not so horror for the athlete, because you made me stretch and stretch and stretch before I ran that marathon.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the stretching.
So again, the evidence is a little mixed, and again, what it points to is the fact that stretching immediately before some sports might actually reduce performance in those sports. But again, it's the sort of bouncy, explosive type sports. Okay. So basketball, sprinting, that kind of thing. There's some evidence to show that static stretching before the event might actually reduce muscle power somewhat. However, for the other sports, it's generally fine. And also, one of the big things that I want to get over to everybody before we wrap up this episode is that these findings all pretty much relate to stretching immediately before doing a sport. There's much more evidence to show that regular stretching is actually really good for you. So there's loads of evidence out there about how good yoga is for you. So it's less a kind of stretching is rubbish, let's throw it out. It's more that like stretching is good for some things some of the time, and particular types of stretching, which is all about knowing your stretching. So come on our advanced stretching course where you'll find out all about it, or indeed read the article and read the chapter in my book, which will be coming up next year.
Are you writing a book?
I am. We'll talk about it in another episode.
That's incredible. All right, so read the book when it comes out, read the article, come on our JING 3-day advanced stretching course where we do all types of stretching for all different major muscles of the body, and of course join the conversation. There's a lot out there, so join us on Twitter, JING Institute, Facebook, JING Institute, and then of course JING TV on iTunes.